Talk to you a little bit about Dennis Briggs coming back. How important was it to have him? Obviously, it's very important with Lovett down and True out there. But were you surprised at his production? And can you talk a little bit about how he'll be used moving forward when you get everybody back?
Well, first of all, it was great having Dennis back. And the kid, and he came back here and he was excited and got back here and jumped into it and said, "Well, Coach, can you sit down with me for an hour or two?" I said, "No, Dennis, I can sit down for 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, sit down with you and talk to you about this defense and things." But he was excited to be back, and his players was excited to see him.
Hey, Odell.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, Guru?
Good, man. How did Dennis do in the sense of keeping himself in shape to be ready to go out there and probably play more reps than he expected first game back?
Well, Dennis always been that type of young man, keeping in touch with him while he was gone and talk to him. "Dennis, you lifting, you running and stuff?" He said, "Yeah, Coach, I'm doing it." I said, "All right, Dennis, you telling me that just to be telling me?" He said, "Coach, I'm doing it." But you could tell he did a good job when he was at home. And also his dad got some weights at the house, and he lifted weights and things like that. And he ran. Dennis said he ran a lot. I said, "That's good," and it showed.
How's it going, Odell?
How you doing, Gene?
I'm doing well, thanks. I want to ask you about your unit. It really looked like they had, a fire lit under them this past week. I guess, first of all, was that something you saw in practice? Did you see additional effort, additional focus the week before? And kind of what was the thing that was the light switch for these guys?
The light switch, we've been pushing them all year to play hard, play with great fundamentals and things like that. And Coach Norvell, that's what he wants. He wants us to play with fundamentals and play hard. And that's a light switch, is just keep playing hard. Just keep, believing the process and doing things the right way, doing the little things right, and creating great habits in our defense. So that's the switch, really, right there. The head coach pushing them, I'm pushing them, and, he wants perfection, knowing that we may not have perfection, but we'll, drop to excellent greatness.
Coach, piggybacking off that a little bit, how have you seen them kind of gain a little bit of confidence as they move out and then see the results from their performances?
Well, the way you gain confidence is how you practice. Some people say you go practice, you'll play good. No, you go out and practice hard and practice the right things, you're going to play good. And that's the thing, anything you do in sports, you go out and practice the right way, the correct way, and doing the little things right, that's when you gain the confidence.
Looking at your guys, is your group a group where kind of it goes as Marv goes? I mean, he's that leader of the group. He's the guy who I know you probably weren't expecting to have back this year. And I guess what difference have you seen from him as the season's gone on, especially with it leading up to what he did Saturday against UNC?
Well, Kurt, I'll tell you this. Marvin will tell you this himself. They go together. They feed off each other. They don't feed off one man. They feed off each other as a group. So therefore, they work together, they eat together, and they have fun. So, the guys, they practicing the way they want. Supposed to on the football field, practicing with low pass, fundamentally sound, great stance, striking blockers, staying low. That's the way, as I said before, you gain the confidence. Doing the little things the correct way.
Hey, Odell.
How you doing, Ira?
I'm good, man. The players on this team, the guys that have been on this team for 4 or 5 years, have had, I guess, 4 head coaches, including you, and they've gone through so much. Do you think, I guess, what has that been like watching them and then having that success on Saturday? And that was a big win for a lot of guys that haven't had a ton of big wins, and they've been through so much. What was that like for you to watch?
It was great seeing that, seeing the kids, they're happy and they're fighting, and it was awesome to see that. And take it back to what you said, they're going through so much. Every day in life, not just in sports, you learn. These are lessons in life you need to learn. And a lot of you kids, I hope God that that they're growing from the lesson they've seen in the last 3 to 4 years, not just athletic-wise. This is everyday life you see in politics or whatnot. But these young men, they've been resilient. And that's the thing about it. Coach Norvell coming in here at Florida State University, implementing, the structure and stuff. And that's awesome. I think that's great for these young men, seeing what they've seen the last 3 years.
We'll go back to Pat.
Hey, Odell, obviously, not having the 12 days of spring practice that you missed put the team behind and, being where they should be, learning the scheme on both sides of the ball. But are you starting to see signs as they become more comfortable in the defensive system of the players starting to take ownership of the defense and hold each other accountable?
The thing about it, Patrick, you could talk about a scheme, but you got to talk about the fundamentals first. You miss the fundamentals in spring practice. That's the deal. And then the scheme will come from there. That's how you play the scheme. You fundamentally sound. And that's what Coach Norvell talking about, be fundamentally sound, teach them the little things. And, he be talking to me, him on the field screaming, they'll make sure they're low pass and keep their eyes below the offensive lineman eyes and things like that. And he's right. That's what you have to do, be fundamentally sound. And then you jump to the scheme. The scheme, you get more comfortable with it and everything. But, hey, before we can get to the scheme, you got to be fundamentally sound as a defense.
That would be Austin Clark and Paul Nation.
Hey there, Coach. Hope you're doing well. Just want to ask you, when there's a situation where Louisville is coming off an opponent that you all just faced as well in Notre Dame, it was also in South Bend. I know you guys want to focus more on yourselves, but does that affect or factor into your preparation or game plan at all?
Well, Austin, Louisville is a good team, man. Very good team. Very explosive offense. But in today's society, always at Florida State, we got to focus on what we're doing. Correct our mistakes and get better at what we're doing in certain situations. That's what we have to do as a football team, and to get better and to correct our mistakes as a team.
We'll go back to Chris.
Hey, Odell, I was wondering, have you had a chance to talk to Coach Dowden since he got home from the hospital? I know Coach Stevens mentioned he got spoke with a hand during the time he was in the hospital, I believe.
No, I haven't had a chance, but I've been keeping Miss Sue Hall been giving me a report on him and things like that, but I haven't had a chance to talk to him. I'm going to try to get with him. I called him a few times, couldn't get him, but Miss Sue Hall, she has been giving me a report. And I like to get a shout out to Jimmy Callaway and love him and tell him and things like that.
We'll go back to Dean.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you about one of your former teammates who recently got into coaching. That's, of course, Dion. Have you had any conversations with him since he decided to join your fraternity there and become a coach? And have you given him any advice?
Well, after I called him after a week after he got the job, I said, good luck, man. Any help, anything I can help you out with, you let me know, man. And we talked about a few things about, the needs and how he's going to build a team and things like that. And I said, D, make sure you get the guys that love this game, man. That love the game, going to do what they supposed to do off the field and on the field. I said, that's how you're going to build it. And, he knows that. And he's been in sports as long as I have. And, we just talked about a few things.